Hey, why do good businesses lose good customers after the sale? My friend, if you've ever wondered why customers say yes once but don't come back again, today's message is for you because the answer is rarely a marketing problem. It's rarely your pricing. It's rarely your intentions. Most of the time, the answer lives after the sale. Today, we're talking about your client fulfillment delivery process, the bridge between what you promise and what your customer actually experiences. And before we talk business, let's talk about what's in the Bible about this. The scripture tells us in Proverbs 25, verse 14, like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of a gift he does not give. That verse is not about the weather. It's about unfulfilled promises. In business, your delivery process is where promises are either kept or they're broken. So, why this delivery part of your business is a spiritual issue. Many Christian business owners think that fulfillment is just operations, it's just logistics, just details. But the Bible sees it differently. Jesus said in Luke 16, verse 10, whoever is faithful in little is also faithful in much. The delivery piece is the little, but it reveals the much. Wayne Grudem teaches that God cares deeply about faithful stewardship, not just moral intention. Louis Schaefer reminds us that spiritual maturity always produces order, not chaos. That means that how you deliver your service is your testimony. It's not just a transaction. So let's talk about this. What is client fulfillment delivery? Well, let's make this very simple. Your delivery process is everything that happens after the sale until the customer receives what they expected. According to proven business frameworks, delivery has two parts. The first is transportation, how the product or service gets to the customer. The other is experience, how the customer feels while they're receiving it. Even if your business is digital, even if the business is a service, even if nothing is shipped, there's always a delivery. And the customer always feels something in this process. Delivery is a message. Your delivery process preaches a sermon, whether you plan it or not. It either says, you matter, we care, we keep our word, or it says, we're disorganized, we're rushed, you were important until we got paid. Scripture warns us in Ecclesiastes 5, verse 4. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to fulfill it. In business, delay feels like dishonesty, even if it's not intentional. So let's talk about the 5 delivery attributes of a customer experience. Customers judge delivery through 5 lenses, whether they say it out loud or not. The first is timeliness. Was it delivered on time? Not eventually, not, well, we tried, on time. Habakkuk 2, verse 3 tells us, though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. God values timing because timing builds trust. So even though it may not seem important to you that everything is exactly on time and it's like, well, you delivered it and you want to make sure it was all right, And so you wanted to make sure that they got what you promised, but for some reason, it didn't get there on time as it was promised. You've already created a problem. So when you deliver, you need to make sure that it's done on a timely basis as promised. And so that's something that we need to consider. Like when we had trainers go and do training, they had to show up in the morning and get things set up in the classroom before the students got there. And they needed to start that class as it was scheduled. Now, if we had delivered the trainer and the trainer was late getting to that classroom and was still busy setting up and all the students had to wait, that would have been a problem. That's not a quality delivery. And the experience of the students, which were the customers of the training center, would have had complaints. So this is really important piece. You got to think about what that is for your delivery. The second one here is convenience. Was it easy for the customer? Or was it just easy for you? Was it convenient for you? Jesus said in Matthew 11, verse 30, "My yoke is easy and my burden is light." Christian businesses should remove friction, not add to it. So putting convenience as a feature in your delivery process here is important. You want the customer to experience that convenience has value. And the better you can do this, the higher quality product or service that you're delivering. How easy is it for them to do this? The third one here is accuracy. Was it right the first time? Accuracy is not perfectionism necessarily. It's faithfulness to the details. In Colossians 3, verse 23, it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart." You did this with your heart fully in it. You were passionately working to make sure that this was right for the customer, that you're actually going to deliver on this promise. If you have a half right delivery, it feels like a half-hearted effort. What if you receive a package, say you order from Amazon and you receive a package from them, and say it was a something that was fragile that you ordered, some product that was fragile, and you receive it and it was packed half-heartedly, not respecting the fact that this was a fragile package. And when it got to you, it was all broken. That is an example of someone who did this packing to send it to you and packaged it in a way that did not protect the product from getting broken in the process of being delivered. That's a half-hearted delivery. You would not be happy with that, would you? You've got to think about this. In what does this mean for your process in making deliveries of what you have sold to your customer? The fourth one is a personal impact. Did the customer feel seen? This is where Christian businesses really should shine. Jesus never treated people like tickets in a system. In Mark 10, verse 21, it says, Jesus looked at him and loved him. People remember how you made them feel after they forget what you delivered. So, what was your personal impact on your customer? What does that mean for your business? And you should think about that a second. Think about what the impact is. Put yourself in your customer's shoes and ask yourself, how did that impact me? How did that delivery impact? The fifth one here is responsiveness. Did you listen and adjust? James tells us in James 1, verse 19, everyone should be quick to listen and slow to speak. Systems in your delivery process serve you as the company, but a responsive system serves the people that it's serving. When you see there's a problem, listen to that, how the customer is giving you feedback on that, and respond to that. What are you doing about what you just heard? Maybe an immediate response might make up for it, depending on what it was. But do that. Do that right away. Try to respond immediately. And then make note of that for future reference. How can you improve your delivery process? Now, why is it that most small businesses struggle here? Because small business owners have exhausted themselves. They're working 12 hours a day. These business owners are burning themselves out. And you know what? When that happens, you start caring less, and your own health is suffering. And these concerns that your customers have start to feel picky. They start to feel like your customers are just complaining over things that don't really matter, and you've got life and death situations going on because you're working yourself to death. As a business owner, you're selling with passion. You're maybe passionate about what you do. You maybe have employees, salespeople that are working for you that are selling with this passionate vision that you've created. But when it comes to delivering, you're delivering from a survival standpoint because the business is not managed as well as it could be. Because you're working so hard, you're fighting so many fires, things are not set up properly. And so your delivery process suffers. If your business is driving you into the ground, your delivery process is going to suffer. And that's just the way it is. That's why management of your company is so critical. And it shows up in your delivery process. So what I'm talking about here in your delivery process is something that's going to give you symptoms of problems in your business that you need to address. So when you hear your customers giving you feedback, you need to listen to that, and you need to go back and look at what's really happening. You may have designed a process for this whole thing, but how are your customers experiencing it? And as we talk more in the future about this delivery and fulfillment to your customers, there are many different aspects to this that you're going to need to pay closer attention to. But here at this point in time, we're just simply talking about delivering and in general, and in the very early stages of your business. If you're just ramping up a business as you do this, I'm organizing these topics in a way that are going to hit the big points first, and then we're going to go into more detail and get more advanced as we go through this podcast. And you're going to have there are trainings that I'm planning to create that coordinate with each one of these, so that you can go in and actually begin to build your business in an orderly fashion. But if your business is suffering because you're working so hard and you don't have a lot of time and energy and resources to deliver in a way that gives you a high quality customer fulfillment, Scripture is calling you to something higher. And as a Christian business owner, you probably want to pay attention to that. 1 Corinthians 14 verse 40 says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." And delivery systems require organized, orchestrated systems that are working properly, doing things that your employees are actually following these systems. That's another issue. That's a management issue that we'll talk about in the future. You don't need heroics here. If you're having to fight fires and be heroic, and there are good employees in your business that are being heroic to make things work, there's a problem in the business. Nobody needs to be heroic. When fulfillment lives in your head, customers, and not in reality, your customers are going to feel uncertain. Your employees are going to feel confused. Your and you as the owner are going to get burned out on this. God is not honored by chaos, even if your intentions are good. And that chaos doesn't mean that your business is growing fast and so it's a great thing for you. It could be a sign that you are headed for failure. It happens. You lose customers over these things. Customers don't like chaos. They like order. So think of this. Your delivery is a form of stewardship. Wayne Grudem teaches that stewardship includes processes, people, making good promises and delivering on them. Delivery is where these things meet. Every handoff is a stewardship. Every delay is a cost. Every mistake teaches the customer what to expect next time. If you don't deliver on time, the customer is going to expect that to happen again. So if they come back, then they're going to be delighted if you deliver on time because you didn't the first time. That's why Jesus spoke so often about servants who were faithful with what they were given. So let me say this plainly. Your delivery process is not an operational issue. It's a trust issue. And trust is the currency of a long-term business because you have to have that trust and you have to maintain and live up to that trust to keep your customers so that they come back and you can get new customers and grow. In our paid training, we're going to walk step by step through the how to do that design and design this and install a delivery system that honors God, protects your time, and builds repeat customers. But today, you need to understand the why. If this message is helping you to see your business differently, I want to invite you to join us inside Psalmtree CEO Mastery. And this is a community for Christian business owners who want biblical clarity, business order, sustainable growth, and you don't have to build it alone. You don't have to guess. In this community, to enter into this and join our community, it's free. And you're going to get some free benefits in there as well. There's a free CEO course in there on the basics. Just kind of some of the basics to help you move forward. So let's return to our opening question. Why do good businesses lose good customers after the sale? Because the promises were made and they believed you, but the systems were never built to keep them. So you're making promises you can't keep. Faithfulness requires structure in your business, and God honors faithfulness. So if you're ready to grow your business that reflects your faith and works in the real world, join us inside Psalmtree CEO Mastery. It's on school, and you can get to it at psalmtreeceomastery.com. It's PSALMTREE CEO Mastery.com. And it'll bring you to our About page there where you can join the community. And there, we're going to go deeper. We have discussions. There's a classroom with all kinds of courses that you can dig into deeper with this. And there is where we build the how on all of this stuff. So we turn conviction into action. So I hope I can see you there and we can get to know each other. See you soon.